Namaskar. Let me talk about the skin tones of ancient India and the preferences that we had over the skin tones. We have seen, I will say, white supremacy in recent time in India, and let me assure you that it was not present in ancient India. Normally, in a modern context, we do have multiple types of skin tones in this world for our species. We also have multiple undertones. In fact, we have three types of undertones: cool, warm, and neutral. But we will talk about undertones later on. Today, we are going to talk about skin tone preferences of ancient India. The data what I will cite, some of these are ancient informations. For example, the book of Megasthenes, which is called the Indica. 2300 years ago it's being written, and part of it is being available. This particular book talks about India's geography, India's socio-cultural scenario at that time, and being referred mostly about authentic source to talk about India. Though there are multiple misinformations in the book, but very interestingly in this book, Megasthenes noticed and noted that darker skin tones were most coveted one in Indian context as such. Similarly, if you go a little bit deeper, you will understand that Marco Polo wrote about Indian skin tone in his book, a travelogue called The Travel. Let me read a little bit from his book, which was translated by R. Latham in the year 1958. In this book, what is written, I quote unquote, "For I assure you that the darkest man is here the most highly esteemed and considered better than others who are not so dark. Let me add that in very truth these people portray and depict their gods and their idols black, and their devils white as snow." Now this is very important context, and not only this, I will also refer Mahabharata, where Draupadi is being depicted as the darkest or the darker skin tone as such, which is coveted at that time. Similarly, if I go for visual representation, I will show you something very interesting. Let me show you these. This palette is from cave number 16. This is called as the conversation of dying princess, conversation with Nanda. And if you see that, the skin tones are dark, pretty dark. And it's very inclusive. That means there are different darker shades of skin tones which are available at that time. Let me show you some more. For example, this one, as a skin tone, you can see this is a very well recognized and a well published painting of Ajanta, wall painting, cave painting. There are few more of Ajanta cave painting. And then there is a whole series of Buddha's evolution in Ajanta cave. And if you see the first row, the top row of Buddhas, you can see them as pretty dark skin tone. But interestingly, these dark skin tones being depicted across Hindu religious icons, Hindu gods. For example, we have Kali, we have Krishna, we have Rama, and all of them, though depicted as blue, but actually they were not blue, because the context of darkness in India was basically a range of darkness. We call them as a darkness, we call them Shama. So Shama is a depiction of darkness. It's not a depiction of blue. So Shama means different types of darkness. The darkest of the darkness used to be considered as the blackish blue, and then it was mistranslated, and then it was converted into blue, and that's how many of these gods, Krishna, Rama, being depicted as the blue in color. Interestingly, this was also being fueled by invaders. It was also being fueled by many Brahminical political situations, religious political situations, where they tried to depict the god as blue so that the god is not shown as black. Many a way it is being shown as a different power, game as such. Anyway, but interestingly, we must note that the darkest skin tone used to be the most coveted one in India, and unfortunately it got changed in the time period of invasion, in the time period of colonial supremacy and all those aspects, and slowly we started moving towards a lighter skin tone. Otherwise, across the country, darkest skin tone used to be the most coveted one. Thank you. Read more about it, and you can, if you have a question, get back to me. We can have a discussion. My name is Kaustav Sen Gupta. I am an academician. Namaskar.